Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now to the latest report in our series of investigations into the number of homeless people dying on the streets. Together with the Bureau of Investigative Journalism, we've been trying to put figures on the numbers who die and find out why they died. Tonight we can reveal that there are almost no formal investigations by local authorities in England and Wales into what causes their deaths. But we can estimate that their numbers are significant. We do know that there have been at least 81 deaths of homeless people in England and Wales since October. Paul McNamara reports.
The sadness is too big, and the words are too flat to express. He was a lovely man with a big heart. He was a happy person. He was very courageous, a true gentleman with a heart of gold. Rest in peace, Nick. Beautiful soul.
The memorial service for a man rich in friends, but far from rich. Nikolai Popper died 2 weeks before Christmas. He was just 33 years old. His death united a community in grief and rage.
One of the things that made me so angry was how normal this all seemed to people at the hospital and in our life in London. This didn't seem shocking to people. People like, oh, another homeless person has died. So to actually remember that person and pay tribute to them, and remember their kindness and warmth and humour, it felt like we remembered him.
Little is known of Nick's life before he became homeless. We know he was born in Romania, and we know he came to the UK about 10 years ago. We discovered he was a labourer setting up market stalls in North London, but around 4 years ago, his life began to spiral. Outside this supermarket, surrounded by estate agents selling homes he could never afford, Nick sat and sold the big issue.
Was this his patch?
Just here. Just here, sitting here. He's not even asking for change. He wasn't even begging. No. I remember one time, I found £1 in here. I give it to him. He goes like, no, you found it, keep it. It's amazing. I was like, Nick, you keep it, man. He said, no, you found it, keep it. I don't know what. It's so sad. We feel like nobody could help him properly.
Terrified of what a long, cold winter on the streets might do to Nick, the community set up this crowdfunding page to pay for a short-term letting. Nick's neighbours, the estate agents, had the same idea.
We were actually in the process amongst people in the office, and I spoke to a couple of other agents as well on the basis of, let's get something together if we can even get him into a sort of a temporary situation. I'd literally been speaking to people about a week before about this, so at the time he then dies, you just feel like I wish I'd started the process earlier and done a little bit more.
Nick's last few years were spent bouncing in and out of this hospital, being treated for his numerous medical conditions exacerbated by what his friends called a need to self-medicate with alcohol. After his final stay at University College Hospital, specialist outreach workers found him a short-term spot at a nearby hostel. On December 5th, he died in that hostel. An inquest is due to take place later this year. No one knows just how many homeless people die each year because, well, no official bodies collect the figures. So Channel 4 News has been working with the Bureau of Investigative Journalism to try and find out, using a network of reporters, experts and members of the public to feed in their local knowledge. We now know that since October, at least 81 homeless people have died. But why they died is another question. And again, it's a question that is not being answered. When a rough sleeper or statutory homeless person dies, the local authority can investigate the circumstances surrounding the death by launching a safeguarding adult review. One hasn't been done for Nikolai. We wanted to find out if any others had. For the 81 homeless people who lost their lives in England and Wales since October, local authorities could not confirm that a single safeguarding adult review has taken place. Local authorities in the cases of 55 of the deaths admitted there's been no review, and for the other 26 deaths, their local authorities either refused to answer the question or did not respond. In fact, we've only been able to find 8 formal reviews into the deaths of homeless people since 2010. Safeguarding reviews are only required if authorities believe that something specifically went wrong, leading to the death. And they're expensive, costing at least £8,000. Repeated emergency care, though, is far more expensive, according to this doctor who specialises in care for the homeless.
People who are homeless, they are coming in and out of hospital a lot. If we can understand and prevent that rapid deterioration in their health, or we can actually provide better wraparound care, then we actually ultimately would be able to save the NHS money.
OK, so you think it's that clear-cut?
I think it would be very likely. I think we see the chaos that is there, I think, is actually very expensive.
The government says every death of a homeless person is one too many, and they are investing more than £1.2 billion to tackle the issue. Islington Council say they are devastated by Nikolai's death and call on the government to properly fund help for homeless people. For cash-strapped councils, properly reviewing the deaths of homeless people is expensive. The long-term economic and moral price society pays by ignoring the death of people like Nikolai, though, may be much, much higher.
That report there from Paul McNamara. And if you do want to know more about our collaboration with the Bureau of Investigative Journalism and could contribute any information about the people we're trying to count, please go to channel4.com/news.